Good morning, ma'am. Good evening, ma'am. This is Lakshmi Priyanka. My registration number is 19MIS0274, and I have taken the tool is GIT. It is a fundamental tool. It is a higher level configuration management. This the list of the following of configuration management tool is it is designed to be stored in a Git repository and leverage Git version controlling tracking. Git is an extremely important part of the workflow for anyone that uses in the programming, more so if you work as a part of the team. Git terminologies: responsibility colon for remote responsibility, upstream commit. We can we can go about the overview of the Git terminologies. Repository. A repository is a complete source database management under GIT. GIT is a distributed version which controls the configuration of the management of our system. Clone. A clone is a copy of the repository, which copy is self-contained, which is completely history and full version capabilities. These are the basic part of the terminologies. The main part is of upstream, which is a large development community. There is often a remote responsibility which it takes as a reference. Most of the time users are not allowed in this committed upstream. Thus, they have to force this remote responsibility in the development area. Commit. A commit corresponds the storage of the change in the local responsibility. Git status. It is the basic command of the GIT. The first command I learned when I began on my journey of GIT mastery. This command provides us with all the statuses of the current working tree. Information we can derive from these commands or current branches is up to date, and it will be stored the files or stages and unstaged tracked. If there is anything that can be committed, pushed or pulled, if any files that have been nearly created or modified or deleted. These are the basic things which you can see in the git status commands. This is the overflow of the GIT tool in software configuration management. And this is the small implementation part which is done in the GIT tool. This is the basic command which we have done in command prompt. There's some advantages and disadvantages of GIT. GIT is nothing but a free source which we can get the basic codes or anything else. It is a free source and open source. Git releases under open source license. Anyone can use the GitHub or anything else. This is freely available on internet. As GIT is open source, we can access its source code and customize it based on our requirements. It is fast and small. Most of the Git operations are performed locally, so this provides hug benefits in terms of speed. There is very less dependency on remote or central services. No need to interact with remote server for every operation. And when we come to the security, GIT uses cryptographic secure hash function. Every file and commit is checked in served by security and retrieved by its checksum at the time of the checksum. So it is not possible to change file or date or commit messages or anything else from the data without knowing GIT. We can't uh, we can't get the information from GIT or anything else like code set somewhat. No need of powerful hardware. In GIT, developers need to interact with the remote server unless they need to push or pull changes. Most of the operations performed at client side, So the server hardware requirement is very less. There will be less burden for server. Storage snapshots are not differences. Most of the VCS keeps sets of files and changes made to files into different versions. These are the basic advantages and somewhat commands have been done in advantages and disadvantages. And now coming to the disadvantages, JIT requires technical excellence and it is slower on Windows. They have 10 years command lines to input and we can't able to track and rename the website. It has poor GUI and usability. And also it take a lot of resources which slows down the performance. GIT doesn't support checking out subtrees. For each project, the central services would need to be set up for multiple package responsibilities. It lacks Windows supports and does not track empty folders. GIT needs multiple branches to support parallel development using by developers. There is no build access control and does not support the binary files. And there is some differences between GIT and GIT GitHub also. We can see the basic output of GIT in these. From demo to production, production to pull tags and logic flow and code flow, developers versus masters. This and all we can see in the workflow diagram of GIT.